the Workforce Connections podcast, where we discuss workforce development in Southern Nevada. Here's your host.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the WC podcast. Today, we have a special guest from the Clark County School District, my friend, my colleague, Dr. Mike Barton. Mike, welcome.
Thanks, Jaime. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I can't wait to spend some time with you talking about all the work we do together. But first, I want viewers to know, where were you born? Where did you go to school? Where did you go to college? What was your first job? And how did you get to be in this high-ranking position at the fifth largest school district in the nation?
Appreciate the question. I'm a military brat, so I was born on an Air Force base in Nebraska, actually. And then my dad was stationed across the country, and then he finally said, let's retire in Pennsylvania. So fourth grade on is where I was, as far as my formative years, if you will, to grow up and go to college. So I graduated from a school outside of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And then I went to the University of Pittsburgh. And that's when I decided I wanted to be a teacher. And before that, one of my first jobs was at a Bonanza Steakhouse, bussing tables and, working hard to make, it was $3.85 minimum wage at the time. But went away to college, loved it, loved the idea of being a teacher, knew that it wasn't like a profession that you make a ton of money, but it's very rewarding. And so I had the pleasure of moving out to Vegas, first taught first grade students, did that for several years. Then I taught fifth grade. Teaching is a great profession. I had a lot of fun doing it, but then obviously after you do that for a while, you want to have a bigger impact. So I became a principal at some point in the district, and I did a principalship at 2 schools. And then I went into central office and then into this current role, which I love doing the workforce piece with the role I'm in now. So, I've been here 25 years. Actually 25 years this week. February 23rd is when the first day I started teaching at J.M. Ullum Elementary School on the east side of Las Vegas.
Wow. And we love that you're in that position, Mike, because you're a great partner. I know that Jesus, who's our board member, obviously here at Workforce Connections, he relies on you to get it done. We come up with ideas that I think are impactful, and we're going to talk about later today. But I really want to make sure and give you the credit. You help us make it happen. At the end of the day, an idea is only good when it becomes a reality, and you help us do that. You're helping us take ideas into realities that are helping our children have more opportunities earlier in the K through 12 time to get exposed to occupations that are in demand here in our region. So when you said that eastern area of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, is that what's called Scrapple country right there?
It's from what I gather, it's something that when you go to breakfast in Pennsylvania, you ask for Scrapple. I'm not sure what it is, Jaime, but it's definitely a staple in the breakfast servings across many diners and restaurants in Pennsylvania. I don't partake too much. I don't know if it's not my style. I'd rather have the eggs and the ham. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely.
But every time you go to the store and look at it, you think of me, huh?
I think of Jaime. I think of Eastern Pennsylvania
and Jack Martin
and Jack Martin. Absolutely. So
you said something really true there about teaching. Every time I do an activity with you at a school, I leave pumped up, rewarded, because those young children, to see them. To see how important the role is of that teacher, because we visited several classrooms and how they look up to that teacher and how that teacher just gives them the knowledge they will need to one day be workers like we are today. It makes me want to be a teacher. I always told you, and you said, as soon as I retire, you're going to grab me.
I see it every time we're in a classroom. I see it in your eyes. Yeah, you'll do it one day.
Yes, I want to. So, Mike, you're known as someone who works very hard. But you also, I get to know you. We've hung out outside of work. You also carve out time to follow your passions. So tell our viewers here a little bit about what are the passions of Mike Barton and what do you like to spend your free time doing?
It's a great question, Jaime. So obviously work hard during the week, and then on the weekends, spend as much time as I can with my wife and 2 daughters. I have 2 daughters, ages 22 and 19. They go to college. Also like to go to a lot of concerts. And so my favorite band of all time is U2. Wow. I'm excited about the residency. They're coming to the Madison Square Garden Sphere.
Wow.
And then I also like, as you know, I love to go around to yard sales and secondhand stores. And I like to find stuff that is unique and try to find a home for it. Someone that wants to collect, say, old casino cards from the Golden Nugget or old, dice from the Hacienda. just examples or artwork. I look for everything out there that, that could be sold to someone that really wants to find a home for a special item. So that's one of my passions. I do that with my wife, who's a retired teacher.
Yep.
And, but ultimately I love to spend time with my family and friends and really enjoy what Vegas has to offer. Vegas has been good to me. I think many of us in positions in Las Vegas recognize how great this town is, and it's thriving, and just there's great people here. So I just enjoy getting out to see what Vegas has to offer.
What if I had a miniature set of Riddell UNLV helmets? How much could I get for that little deal right there?
Well, I know the story on it. Here's the deal. If you're out there and you're a member of the UNLV Alumni Association, I think one year they gave a set of 6 UNLV Riddell mini helmets out to every member. And sometimes they migrate to the Goodwill and Savor stores in the Valley. But when you find them, they sell them for about $1.99, but you can sell those on eBay to a buyer across the country that'll pay upwards of $300. Wow. Just a rare item that people like to see, that UNLV old school helmet design.
That's so cool. So to our viewers out there, you might be sitting on a lot of gold, right?
I should have said that. Barton. I shouldn't have said that. I gave it away.
Well, that's just one example. I love how you've given me many examples, Super Bowl memorabilia. I mean, a lot of stuff there that we have sitting at home could be monetized. So
absolutely,
it might be another thing we do together after I retire.
Happy to do that.
And I did have the pleasure of meeting your wife one day. Again, you set me up to be principal for a day. I think pre-pandemic, I believe it was. And what's the name of that school? Far there by
Sue Morrow Elementary School.
Yes, and
right off of Racetrack and Horizon.
Yes, I'm walking through that school and I see, Miss Barton, and I can't be. It can't. And I walk in and I said, "Do you know a Mike Barton?" And she smiles. I said, "Okay, this has got to." And so I took a picture and texted you. Said, "Look who I met at a school." So again, very rewarding to have the opportunity to be in those classrooms. Now, but this is not the first time that you and I have crossed paths professionally. I mean, I'm enjoying the work that we do together. It's been a few years now that we've been working together. But one day you says to me, "Jaime, do you remember this day back somewhere?" And I vaguely did, but you had proof. You found proof somewhere that we had actually met before.
I had evidence, Jaime, and I have that evidence with me today.
Oh,
so just so you know, it goes all the way back to 2006. I was looking at my first principal yearbook.
Wow.
And in here, there was an event. It was Hispanic Heritage Month. And I remember, I don't know why I looked back here, but after we met again, these years later, I went back to this yearbook and I saw that you were our keynote speaker.
Wow.
I believe you were with the MGM at the time.
Yep.
And then that's me and you actually right there on the highway talking.
Wow.
But that's in 2006 where we first met and crossed paths. But I remember that day, Jaime, there you are as well, sitting in the audience of kids. You had a great impact on my young people who were at this school, which was Global Community High School.
Wow. School
of newcomers who I remember them appreciating your speech that day.
And this school is now situated at the newest facility that you've built on the old site of the Bishop Gorman School. That's where Global Community is today. Is that right?
That's where the new and improved Global Community is, right? So all these years later, think about that visit you had to the old Global, which was right behind Desert Pines High School.
Yes.
But now Global is in a really shiny, state-of-the-art building. Wow. Where the old Gorman is.
And little did I know this guy, this Principal Barton from that school would be my partner in crime now doing all this work.
It's funny. I didn't think, you know what? You were with the MGM at the time.
Right.
Who knew you would be the executive at Workforce Connections?
Wow. So it's true what they say here in Las Vegas. Now we're a community of almost 2 million, but in many ways, we're still a small town, right? They keep running into each other like this. It's amazing. So, and the good news, Mike, is that we both have all our hair still in that place. We haven't lost, our hair. That's a good thing. So, Mike, what are some of your, again, this lengthy career at CCSD, what are some of your proudest moments? Some of the roles you've told us about, few teacher, principal now in the administration, but maybe some special projects. Again, we're working on some now, initiatives. What are some of the things that you've enjoyed the most in this journey at CCSD?
Great question. I'll start, the principal jobs being the founding principal at Global Community High School. Then I was the founding principal of West Prep K through 12 school on Martin Luther King and Lake Mead. Gave me great experience to get ready for these jobs that I'm in now. But I'm really happy with the work that we do with Workforce Connections because we're talking about pathways. And I think you've mentioned this number before, but when I first had this role, when Dr. Jara came, he's a visionary. He said, I need to know how many kids are actually going to college, how many are going straight in the workforce. So we did an automatic engagement. This was about 5 years ago with National Clearinghouse that shows 50% of our kids here in the Valley go on to college. 50% do not. So I'm even guilty. When I was the principal at West Prep, my mantra was, you're all going to college, which that's great if you want to go to college. The reality is, what do we do for the 50% that have a different pathway? And so that's what I find the most rewarding work to be, is whether it's with Workforce Connections, with the counseling fellowship, or teaching our high school counselors how to navigate Workforce Connections and the great resources that it has. Even going down into those early elementary levels, like that early exposure, that's where I'm just so impressed with you, because you're all about, we can start these initiatives junior year of high school. That's great. Sometimes that's a little too late, right? So how do we get down early to 5th grade, even kindergarten, on exposure for these high skill, high demand jobs that we have to offer in Southern Nevada? So I'm very proud of that work, because that can make change with lifetime income, trajectories of families, and really making sure that our students have the pathway outside of a typical 4-year institution.
Yeah, Mike, and we're really excited about those projects as well, and happy to hear that you're enjoying them. I have 550 peers across the nation that do the work I do for the Workforce Connections in their area, and it's always it's not easy to work with the school districts, as you know, and when you have the 5th largest, it's a massive undertaking for any kind of organization. But you guys are making partnering easier. I know, again, there's many things to navigate, legal issues and HERPA and all these different things, but it's been really enjoyable to see, again, some of these things become reality. And I'm going to mention a few other initiatives that we're working on to enhance, again, post-secondary success. As you said, I was guilty also as a father to say, you're both going to college, right? But and you've said the truth that this society, at least for a long time, will still need plumbers and electricians and camera people and audio people and all these different, lighting, all these different things, careers that we need. In addition to architects and engineers and doctors, we need all the other things as well. So that balance, as you said, is what we have to get better, and we want to support CCSD in that effort. So we have, for example, as you said, now 35 workforce fellows that we call them. These are some of your best high school counselors, and we want to get to all of them, that are really, we are immersing them in our world so that they can best connect their students and their families to these resources that we have. We also have these we're working on these new vocational training programs at the academic centers. Used to be called behavioral schools, right? Now they're academic centers. We also have, again, and this is a reason why some of my peers are envious of the good work that we have going on with our partners at CCSD. We have the newest school we mentioned on the site of the old Bishop Gorman site, has an American Job Center in it, where we have our staff right there to help the families, to support that multi-generational model that you guys have there, a school that serves the young people in the daytime, but stays open to serve the whole family. So that family support center idea. And so we're in there as well, effectively making the only school in the nation that has that, right? And again, I think we celebrate too little the great things happening here at CCSD. Can we do better? Absolutely. There's lots of room to do better, and we're working on that. I see you guys working on that, but I don't think we talk enough about the fact that we have the #1 magnet school in the nation, SECTA, that we are also highly listed on that CTA list for best CTA schools in the nation. And so lots of good things happening. We also are partnering with you at that school, the site of the new Global Community High School. We had STEM equipment that we brought in there. And I remember that principal sending me pictures of the kids so happy when they're opening all this STEM equipment, the robotic stuff and the drones, and just to see those kids' smiles light up with stuff that they can touch and feel and put together and play and experiment with. We also, and that's the Central Career Technical Academy. But like you said, one of the things I'm most excited about, and it'll come out soon, we're working on the rollout of our youth activity books, which brings all this labor market information about what occupations are going to be in demand here in Southern Nevada. How do we translate and give that information to the teachers so that they can expose those students and their families to those careers that they might not know a lot about. And so we're going to be working with you and your team again on an official rollout, but we already piloted it at a couple of elementary schools with the superintendent, with yourself, a few board trustees, and local elected officials from North Las Vegas, Henderson, Las Vegas. So tell me why. I know that's a lot, Mike, but tell me why, again, these projects are important to you, and what kind of, what kind of value do you think is it that Workforce Connections is bringing to your mission?
It's amazing you talk about those projects, and we should all be proud of the projects that have stood up. And Dr. Jara being on your board for Workforce Connections, he's able to execute on these things rapidly. So I passed by this morning the Global Community High School and Sectional Technical Training Academy this morning, and it has the Family Support Center, which is right across the street from the school. That center is helping many families in that community with job needs, just trying to help navigate sometimes a difficult system. And so we're really proud of that project, and we stood it up. That has state-of-the-art facilities for construction management, construction technology, automation. So that's going to get a lot of kids, and at night, adults, job skills that they need. The other projects, thinking about the behavior schools, what they used to be called, now the academic centers. Sometimes kids that get in trouble in school, they may be part of that 50% that aren't going on to college. That's where I think historically we've failed them, where we don't give them pathways on what a workforce skill or certification is. And so we're excited to partner with Workforce Connections on just some of those job skills certifications that even our youth that make mistakes, we all were youth at one time. We made mistakes, right? But some of these kids that go to an academic center getting some skills, so when they transition back to a comprehensive high school, they can be ready for workforce. And then finally, being a former elementary teacher, just being in that fifth grade class that one day at Sewell Elementary School for the soft launch of this project, the kids' faces were lighting up. They just love the material, the sector aligned materials. All the kids got up there and talked about they wanted to be a software engineer. They wanted to be, some said they wanted to be a lot of leaders in that group, if you recall. They wanted to be in leadership or management, but the reality, teachers too. So the reality is we need these young people to start thinking very early on what they want to do, because when they get to middle school, there's opportunities for pathways and workforce. Same thing with high school. And then it leads to, obviously, they can earn and learn in college too with CSN or Nevada State. But the sky's the limit. We've done a great, robust capital program. So, with the Central Technical Training Academy, that starts, we have next year, the Northeast Career and Technical Academy, which will be having one of the first programs in I believe, in Southern Nevada on energy technology.
Wow.
So this is a program that's never really been done at a high school, but training students to become certified in energy technologies. And again, we couldn't have done that work alone. So always appreciative of Workforce Connections and our other business partners.
And that's Principal Cordia, right?
That is, absolutely. Our award-winning principal.
Award-winning principal.
And when you said magnet schools, we were named, sometimes people forget, we were named Magnet District of the Year. While SECTA received the best school of the year nationally, we were named the best district nationally as far as our magnet and CTA programs.
Why isn't that making the headlines like all the negative?
It should.
stuff?
It needs to, right? Sometimes that gets buried a little bit, but that's something that we're really proud of.
Yeah, and we should be. I think those are the things that we want to scale up and grow. Mike, in that day that we were there, we were there with the mayor of Henderson, Mayor Romero, again, who leads our organization along with other local elected officials. And not only were the students' face lighting up, hers was too.
Absolutely.
She was lit up. I loved it how when we walked into that room, this wasn't planned, unless the principal knew, but as the principal was walking us to the fifth grade classroom that we were going to be in, Mayor Romero says, "This was my classroom."
That was amazing.
That was amazing. As we walked in, I could see her just reflect, and she enjoyed it so much. And it was good. And again, these are the things that I'm grateful for, because I know it's not easy to accommodate these things. Teachers are busy already with lots of things. Principals are busy, but you guys are making it really easy, again, to partner and hopefully contribute to this common goal we have, which is to expose these young children to careers earlier. And that's what the final question is about. we've been talking about the official launch that will be coming. More and people will see, hopefully, an official press release and some collateral, some maybe animated videos and some stuff that will come out to help explain it. But Mike, career exploration, for a while there, a few years back, we always heard for STEM, high school is too late. You got to go middle school, right? But now people are saying, because of the advent of technology and how young people are being flooded with information at an earlier age digitally, we hear that career exploration or career exposure is critical in the early years. So tell us your opinion, because this is your business, about why doing this is important. Why should we be bringing information about the careers to the young people in elementary school?
It's a great question. I think the answer is this. It helps educators strategize with the students who are being exposed to those careers at an early age on what they need to start thinking about doing to be ready for those careers. So for instance, I'm going back to that where we were there with the mayor and at Sewell, a lot of software engineers. They wanted to be a software engineer. There's some mathematical skills that need to come with that. So that's where elementary teachers, middle school teachers can start talking about what's the proper rigorous mathematics that young person needs to think about in sixth grade. So as they transition from fifth to sixth grade, they probably need to start thinking about algebra by seventh grade so they can take geometry in eighth grade to be ready for some really upper level mathematics in high school. So that's an example to illustrate. You get those conversations happening about coursework. If it's a young person that is thinking about health sciences, right? There needs to be some conversation with that young person. What are the proper advanced placement classes they can take? Dual enrollment when they get to high school. When they get to middle school, making sure that they advocate for themselves too. This is where families come in too, because sometimes when you have students and families that maybe don't know about the system, they don't know that in Southern Nevada, 50% of our kids don't go on to college. How do they advocate for themselves with a counselor? That's why I love our fellowship program with the counselors with workforce, because the advocacy that can happen when you expose kids at a young age, they start asking questions, they show interest to their parents start talking to the counselors at the schools. It just becomes this ecosystem of, I can do that, but I just need the tools to be ready for that. Yeah, I'm a third grader. I might change my mind, but that early exposure allows for some very strategic conversations with our counselors, our professionals who can help guide students and their families.
That's good, Mike. We're excited again that you agree with it and that you're helping us pull it out. I want to mention two things before we end that I think are important too. Among all the many things we're doing, we have also this platform called NEPRIS for Nevada that you're helping us roll into schools, and that we on our side are bringing industry on, because again, what we want to do is connect employers, and they've asked for it. When we launched these industry sector partnerships, they've asked for a more robust connectivity with this talent pipeline, which is the Clark County School District. 25 to 30,000 young people, as you said, graduating every year, of which half of them are not necessarily going that college route. And so how do we make sure employers are more connected, meaningfully connected to that talent pipeline, and not at the end of the pipeline, but as we said, embedding their needs earlier so that those kids are graduating with the best opportunity for post-secondary success that they can have. And so NEPRIS for Nevada is an online platform that's connecting industry to classrooms. And again, we're starting at the high schools. We hope to bring it to middle schools, but we also next month, we will have our very first of what we hope is now a series of student showcases. What does that mean? Employers keep telling us we need, people who can critical think and problem solve and work as a team and communicate effectively and exemplify leadership skills. Well, you guys have award-winning robotics teams, right? One of them at Cimarron Memorial High School, the High Rollers, and these young people are winning world competitions. And they do all of that when they do that. When they work with those robots, they're using all of those skills. And so next month we will be having a student showcase where we're rolling in employers into that school so that they can actually see their future workforce and they can offer them internships and jobs. Right, graduation's coming up. And so that's another thing I think that we're grateful that you're, again, allowing us access to the principals and those teachers and those programs so that we can give employers what they've been asking for, which is a more significant connection to this talent pipeline, which is CCSD.
It's amazing. I think about the work-based learning opportunities that we have when you're talking about that and our industry partners through NEPRIS, which I think right now we're probably at 15% with NEPRIS being utilized in the district. We've got to get it to 100%. Mm-hmm. And so when we do that, we're in the stage right now of hiring a new work-based learning coordinator to oversee a lot of that project and integration with NEPRIS into our schools. But we're excited because we still think we're only scratching the surface, and we've got a lot of work to do in the K-12 continuum to get kids ready for that workforce.
Well, Mike, you can count us in as your partners. As you know, we're committed to the same cause. As you said, we're grateful that the superintendent sits on our board so that we can really, again, get those ideas into reality. At the end of the day, again, it takes, I know he relies on you heavily to be able to help us get down there in the trenches to get this work done. We appreciate you. I know I tell you that. Hopefully not just when we're working, but also you and I get to enjoy each other outside of work, at hockey games. We got to go get some Scrapple one day, I guess, if that can.
I'll pass on that. Okay, but I appreciate you as well, Jaime. Thank you so much. I really do.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for coming and doing the show here with us today.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that's it for another episode of the WC Podcast. We hope that you join us at a future one. Until then, stay safe. Okay, Mike, thank you for staying over to do our bonus segment called Against the Wall. Are you ready?
I think I'm ready.
All right. We have 3 segments. The first one is called Your Favorites. I'm going to give you a category, and you're going to give me your favorite one in that category. Let's start with an easy one. Your favorite food?
Pizza.
Your favorite movie?
Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, I love that one. Favorite book?
It's a tough one. I like anything by... in the series of Silence of the Lambs. Thomas Harris, I believe.
I love that. Favorite city to visit?
I love Vegas.
Yeah. Favorite subject in school?
I loved social studies.
Favorite sport in school?
I was a track runner, mile runner.
Favorite artist or musical group? I know this
That's
one.
easy. You too.
Yeah. Residency?
It's coming.
A sphere. Favorite holiday?
Oh, I love Thanksgiving.
Favorite sports team?
Oh, I love the Las Vegas Raiders.
Very good. That was your first segment. You did great. The second segment is called Tough Choices. It gets a little harder. Are you ready?
I hope I pass this section, Jaime.
Here we go. Would you rather vacation or staycation?
Staycation.
Would you rather drive to your vacation spot or fly there?
Drive.
And when you get there, would you rather stay in a hotel or an Airbnb?
Airbnb.
In the morning, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
In the evening, wine or beer?
Wine.
Now, when you're at home on a Friday night, date night with your wife, would you rather stay and cook at home or take her out, eat at a restaurant?
Friday night, eat at a restaurant.
All right. Would you rather owe money or owe a favor?
Oh, I'd rather owe a favor.
Now, this one's customized for you. eBay or Etsy?
eBay.
All right. Now, this one. Would you rather pack the box or mail the box? Which one is harder?
It's hard. I would rather mail it. It's hard to pack it.
Okay. And you told me mailing is not easy, too, because you got to run around and go several places.
You have to bubble wrap. You've got to make sure that the tape is tight. Absolutely.
Now, this is the hardest one, I think, for me. Tough choice. Justice or grace?
Justice.
Actions or words?
Actions.
Very good, Mike. You finished the second segment. Now we're rounding the corner to the end. And the last segment is called Finish the Sentence. I'm going to give you 90% of the sentence. You're going to finish it off. You ready?
I'm ready.
If Mike could live anywhere, it would be?
Henderson, Nevada.
All right. Henderson Knights, right?
That's right.
Silver Knights. The best part of living in Southern Nevada is?
Just the 24 hours you can do anything. And you can go out to eat anywhere and you never get bored.
So true. Mike's favorite thing about his job is?
Execution.
If Mike could travel back in time, he would travel to?
1883. See what the Oregon Trail was all about.
Wow. 3 words that describe Mike are?
Focused, loyal, hardworking.
I couldn't agree more. Mike, and doing the WC podcast here today with us was?
fun.
Awesome.
It was a great day. Thank you.